Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
We welcome you back to 757 Saturday Sports Talk, powered by CoVA Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe wherever you may be tuning in here, be it IG, Facebook, Twitter, X, Virginia Preps, and on our CoVA Sports TV YouTube channel all over the globe. We now have a special guest with us. We're delighted to have him back in the 757. He is the new head women's basketball coach of the Spartans of Norfolk State University. Behold the green and gold. We say hello and congrats to our pal, Jermaine Woods. Coach, good to see you out there. You're rocking that NSU gear, and I know you're glad to be back in the 757.
Man, happy to be home. Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you great. Can you hear
You
us?
all good? I got news for you, man. I hope you don't hang up on me, man.
Oh, no. Don't you dare do it. Don't you dare do it.
I'm a Yankee fan, man. I'm sorry, man.
Oh, no, you're not. Oh, gosh, no. Not all you. What's up with this? It's like the Yankee bonanza here.
It's funny when the last coach up here, man, just said the same thing, man. When I watch baseball, it's Yankees, man. You know, I used to enjoy going to the O's games at Coppin State, but, you know, I'm a Yankee guy, man. Sorry about that, Matt.
No, Ed, you've poisoned everybody, Ed, with your Yankees.
Hey, I don't even tell these guys. They just speak from the heart. I keep trying to tell him, Jermaine, Yankees, 27 titles, Hall of Famers galore, Aaron Judge. You know, I respect the D-backs. They beat us 2 out of 3.
Don't you call us a minor league baseball team? You don't respect us whatsoever.
You know, I got to stop doing that. You guys have been the best AAA team in baseball, but move you up a little bit. You know,
this is what I put up with, Jermaine. This is the nonsense I put up with. I have to keep reminding him about 2001.
Hey, I'm not the one wearing Yankee satin pajamas like you are in your whatever.
It was 9-1 last night in the rain, but we got to talk basketball with Jermaine. We ain't got time for this nonsense.
Yeah, hey, Jermaine, it's great to have you on. And from me, when I heard the rumors, because I tried to start them, that you would maybe come back and be, to me, it was home run. It was done with. Don't interview 18 people. Don't hire a consulting firm to find us a coach. You had a guy who knows the area, who's been around other areas, who is passionate, and who can, you know, and Larry's done a great job there. He's put them on the map, especially when they knocked off Auburn, and it got him the job at Auburn. I said, you know, they bring in Woods, done deal.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. It means a lot, man. Just thank you for having me on. It's kind of full circle. I remember I came on a few years ago when I got the job at Virginia Tech, and I think you guys had me back on when I got a job at Coppin State, and that was full circle back around, and you guys having me on with the job at Norfolk State, man. And, you know, I always appreciate you guys covering me, man. Matthew done a great job covering me as a high school coach, and then you know, obviously, you know, you were a high school coach, and then when you got to the radio, you guys always had me on. So thank you guys.
We appreciate that. And you don't have to remind Ed about those days when you were helping out D Nice at Booker T and beating them in the region championship.
I didn't say it, Ed. I didn't say it. That's Matt. Matt started trouble.
Hey,
Ed.
That's what I do.
Hey, see, he thinks it bothers me because I get on him so easy. But, hey, y'all deserve it. You got it. It's part of the process and growing, so I don't really have any problem with it. I've won my share games, and I'm not done yet. If somebody gives me another chance, I'm going to win a few more.
There you go.
In all seriousness, though, Jermaine, when we've had you on, we appreciate you always coming on whenever we ask. Even during the pandemic, we had you on to the Zoom. I'm fascinated to learn, though, from you, from all your experiences, the high school realm. You played at Granby High School, was a star there. Yeah. Christopher Newport University. Saw the archival footage that our friends at Wavy put out this week when you played. That was classic. And all that you've been through, the times with Old Dominion, Virginia Tech, Wake Forest, you go to Coppin State, you turn that program around, you get to the WNIT, now you're back at your alma mater, Norfolk State, and you've coached with high school legends like Darren Centerland and Jack Baker. What's the biggest thing you've learned on this journey that you can apply moving forward, but also embark and empower on the younger coaches that get in this? Because they want to be that Jermaine Woods one day, and you wanted to be in this spotlight, and now you have this opportunity. What's the biggest thing you've learned during this whole journey?
I think being a high school coach and starting from the roots of everybody, all college coaches say they started from the roots, right? Because they started as grad assistants. Well, I really started from the roots. I started as a JV coach. And I think that's the best experience I've had. I think learning under Jack and Darren and my high school coach, Lonnie Blow, who coached me, David Floyd, has really helped me grow into the man I am today as a coach, man. And I learned a lot from those guys and how to treat people. You know, we really are no kids left behind. We had to take the kids that came to our school for the most part, right, and coach them up and learn how to be teachers. And I think as a high school coach, you really are a teacher. You got to go from your brain to the board to the court. And I think that's the most important thing I've learned, how to be a teacher. And so, and actually, I taught math for 8 years, man. And so I'm a teacher at heart. And I think that's the most important thing I learned, man, is just how to be a teacher and teaching the game. So it translated well. So my high school experience is the best experience I've had of any level.
Good stuff, Ed.
Jermaine, you just hit it. I get in this argument with people too. As a young coach, my aspirations to get to the college level, I thought you start at the high school level and you work your way up. Kind of found out it's not really what it is. And I even tell young coaches now, if you're going to be maybe a college coach, you start like as a grad assistant. But I don't ever back down from the background because, as you said, we're teachers first. We're in the classroom. A lot of those guys that were grad assistants, they don't understand that. And the thing that you hit as I'm listening to you speak, being under Jack, Dave Floyd, you're bringing up Dave Floyd. We haven't heard Dave Floyd's name mentioned in a long time. Darren, you guys, especially in Norfolk, and I had 6 years at Norview, you got to take kids that you got to be coach, dad, maybe mom, uncle. They're going through a lot of stuff.
Yep.
A lot of those college dudes don't do that. Like I made a joke one time. I said, can you see Bobby Knight trying to coach high school basketball with everything involved? He'd last maybe an hour and a half.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be able to do it. And that's a lot of those guys because of what you have to do. That's why I'm excited for you in terms of getting a position because you pay dues. You work camps. When I tell young guys, I spent 6 weeks of summer up and down the East Coast working camps. They look at you like, what?
Yes. Yes.
That's how you got in. That's how you got known. That's how you made your mark against whoever. It wasn't traveling AAU ball, playing in air-conditioned places, whatever. It was working out at 5-star when it was 100 degrees and the chairs were sinking into the macadam, and we're still playing.
Yep.
That kind of stuff. And that's why when Matt asked you that question, I was really anxious to hear what you live because you have put dues in. And that's a statement us veteran coaches we're real big about. What dues do people pay to get what you got? Because there's a lot of people getting positions who really don't deserve it. And it is what it is. You just deal with it.
Yeah.
You and I
it's
know.
hard. It's hard, Ed. Like, people don't understand, like, how to pay dues, though. We're in a microwave society now, and everybody wants to run fast. They think because you win a championship or you got a bunch of high school wins or whatever, you deserve to get a college job. That's not how it goes, man. You got to get yourself out there and work those camps and go to these schools and humble yourself a little bit and put yourself in a situation, to be successful. And I did have a good AAU program, you know that. And but that was on the boys' side, and I'm a women's coach, and so I think that David Floyd taught me discipline. Then Lonnie Blow taught me X's and O's and how to be a better man. And then I get with Darren. It's the workouts, it's the drive, it's the passion, it's the vision. Then I get with Jax, man. It's X and O's and how to be the politic part, right? And how to be and make your way through this thing and how to be around people and what to say and what not to say. And so I had it great. And so, I give those guys the credit for my success, and I've been to college 12, 13 years, and I'm still giving those guys the credit because that's where I've grown the most at that level. And then I will say Karen Barefoot taught me the recruiting piece because she let me do it. She let me be a recruiting coordinator. And that's when I learned in college of how to recruit. Recruiting is just not talking. It's about knowing what to do and when to do it. But high school is my foundation. I'll tell any guy who wants to be a college coach, first think about it. Because we're like ducks. It's smooth on top, but underneath, man, we're going 1,000 miles an hour, and people just see the results. They don't see the work. So, and a lot of them are finding out really fast, man. This is a tough business. But I've grown in it and I've done it my way, and I've been myself, and I think my high school roots have helped me at.
No doubt. The genuine authenticity is there for you, Jermaine. I want to throw in here one quick before Ed gets back in here. It's changed a lot since you started coaching college basketball. Obviously, the NIL, the transfer portal, and you've been at different stops. You mentioned Karen Barefoot will be on the show last year with her book that came out and used to coach at Old Dominion, Virginia Tech, Wake Forest, but in the ACC, you take Coppin State. You actually came down here a couple of years ago, played Old Dominion. I say us because I did some of their broadcasting. I've done their broadcasting the last 4 years. what's been the biggest thing you've had to do in terms of adapting from your start at the college level to now? What's been the biggest adapting element for you?
I got lucky, right? So I started at Virginia Tech and Old Dominion and Wake Forest. We didn't have this collective and NIL. This happened when I was at Coppin State. But you don't choose an HBCU for what we have. You choose us for who we are because we can't pay you that money. So I don't really have to compete in that realm of giving hundreds and thousands and 300 and 200. We don't do that. And so we got to recruit kids that want to understand the culture and what we do and what we can offer you, a family atmosphere and a hands-on education and practical. So those are the kind of student athletes I recruit. I don't really have to go after the big names and because we don't have that, right? And so I won't say it's easier here because we still want to put a good product on the floor, and so we go after young women that can help us be successful. But they know when they come on a visit. I'm on a visit right now. We at the Egg. She knows that we can't give her 50K, 30K. She knows that, but she still chose to visit. We got a commitment last night from the leading scorer. I can't say the university at the sign. Yeah, I almost got in trouble from a leading scorer from another university. You know what I mean? So she's a leading scorer, and she didn't even ask about the money, right? And so because she liked the culture, what we had, they had a step show, activity hours. She saw the culture and she wanted to be a part of it. And so for me, it's still old school, man. Come for who we are, not what we have.
Ed?
Yeah, Jermaine, again, with this, the portal and collective and all that, it is coming into play. And Matt and I had the opportunity to attend Michael Vick's press conference for getting the football position. And a lot was talked about money, even on the sidebar conversations that, okay, you got a name, Michael Vick, NFL, all that. That's nice. But the way it seems, it is about money. And I'm not stepping on your toes because I know it's culture that you're talking about and you're bringing in. How, and the thing that makes me mad about all of this, and we could talk hours upon hours about all this, is it looks like the mid-level down has become farm system for the big people because you're going to have a great players at Norfolk State. You're going to win big games. And now you're going to have to throw a blanket over your better players because people are going to say, how much you making down there?
Yeah.
What? Oh, we give you $1 million right off the bat.
Yeah.
That's some as coaches back in the day. It was under the table, people giving you some stuff, but not everybody could do it.
Yeah.
But now it's almost automatic. And I've heard people even say that in this year in the tournament, both men and women, that those smaller schools that come in there and they upstage some people, all of a sudden you're kind of, putting out a dress rehearsal for a team that might take you. Yeah. Like Larry got taken by Auburn. Okay, here's an example on the coach's side.
Yeah.
Okay. So how, as you look at this in your years of doing it, and now that you're going to be, like I said, we know you're going to win at Norfolk State.
Thank you.
How do you really sacrifice it? Do you have to kind of go behind the scenes and say to the alumni people, whatever, hey, look, the Norfolk State history and all that, it is tremendous, but we need a little bit of more money. How do you do that? How do you attack that?
Ed, you hit it, Ed. You hit it. I can sit here and act like that we don't have to have money, but I'll be lying to you. And so we don't have the money that other schools have, but we got to get a little bit of money, right? We have to. But we have to embrace that we're going to lose some kids, though, because we're not going to be able to afford to keep them. That's just a fact. All right, Coppin State, my best player was a senior. She graduated. My second best player, who's first team all conference, first team HBCU All American. She came to my office before I got the job at Norfolk. She said, Coach, I love you. I just want to see what I'm worth. And I respect it. I accepted it. And right now her biggest offer is 80 grand. She coming from Coppin State. Before us, she didn't have that name. And now she got an 80 grand offer. Well, I can't give her 80 grand in Norfolk State. And so that's what you're saying. We did well, right? Most wins in Coppin State in 20 years. First postseason in 15 years. Most non-conference win in history. When that happens, guys, all the high major eyes come down. So now they don't got to recruit high school. They recruit all kids. But I accept that. And if you don't accept that, you're going to get around this business. And so I got to accept the fact that we are a farm system, right? We're kind of the JUCO of the NCAA without being the JUCO. And we're going to lose student athletes every year. And people ask me, why do I get graduate seniors? Because they already seen the mountaintop. Now they get to come down and see the culture of HBCUs. And that way I can't lose them. right? But I only got him for 1 year. Same thing if you get a good freshman. Every year since I've been at Coppin, my best player has left for money. Every year. And we still managed to have success. But I embrace the fact that, all right, got under recruited.
Oh, lost.
I'm sorry about that. My bad. We're
You're good.
going
You're
to
good.
let me put on Dr. Sturz. Hold on, guys. Sorry about that.
You good.
Sorry
We
about
got.
that. We good?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can't see you, but we can
We
hear you.
lost. We lost your video. You're about to come back, I think, though. Hang tight.
I'm back.
We got you. Go
We back,
ahead.
guys.
Yep, we got you.
Sorry about that. I had to put on Dr. Sturz. So every year we're going to get that, man. We're going to be, Coach Jones said it, right? And I'm just telling you, we're going to have good players this year. I'm going to lose them again. Like, I'm just going to do it. And so it sucks, but it's the reality. And you can't blame the student athletes, though, Ed. You can't. I can't tell that kid to not go take 80 grand when I probably can give her 20. It's no way possible. Now, I can tell her be careful where you go, because that might be the last 80 grand you make. And if you want to be a pro, then you might could take this 20 and then you can make 80 later. Or you could take 80 and just make the 80 and see what happens. So it's a lot of bad decisions, a lot of bad people. Ed, Matt and Ed, that's where the point comes to being a teacher. We guide our student athletes in the right direction. Ed, you were so phenomenal with your student athletes. I just watched you from afar and how you had discipline, structure, and they love you. No matter if they're black, white, whatever, you just embrace it. And that's who I am. I'm still that same guy. Old school, high school coach that wants to do good by student athletes. So whatever's best for them, man, I'm with it. It sucks, but we're going to be a farm system, Ed. That's not going to change.
Well, now, if you had the power, Jermaine, to say, okay, and I'm not against paying the kids either. I mean, those colleges are too long, making big money off a kid putting their name on a jersey, selling the jersey, and the kid don't get a dime for
Yeah.
his name on a jersey.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't have a problem with that, but I think there's we got to put some kind of things in there. I know you probably have some idea and maybe what you've heard in the rounds. What do you think about how that could be fixed a little bit?
It's going to be fixed, Ed. It's going to be fixed next year. I think they're going to put a cap on it next April. I don't know what the cap going to be, but something's going to happen next April, and that's why you see a lot of these. If you notice, Ed, a lot of male athletes are opting up and going from the junior class to the senior class, the top guys, because next year they're trying to put a cap on it. How that's going to work, I don't know, but we have to do something to regulate it. I'm not smart enough to figure out how we got to do it. I haven't thought about it, but it has to be something, Ed. Like, it's getting out of control. What today, right? Last night I'm watching SportsCenter, and the Tennessee guy left 2.2 million or 2.5 million on the table because he wanted 4 million. Guess what, guys? He's gonna get that 4 million.
He is.
He's gonna get it. He's gonna get it. And so now we in the wild, wild west, man. And you can't really blame the student athletes. We should have all seen this coming. I tell you what, Dennis Wolf at Virginia Tech. Dennis Wolf told me a long time ago. Dennis and I had our differences, but one thing he told me: save your money, invest, because college athletes is gonna get out of control. And this was in 2015, 14. He was right, man. He called this, man. He saw it. And it's a shame that we didn't have the foresight to see it at the highest level, because now we're playing behind, right? Behind the pitch count. And we're trying to catch up to it, and it just keeps getting worse and worse. So like you said, Ed, I'm with this student athletes getting paid. I'm not against it at all. I think they should give it deserve, but it has to be some kind of rules and regulations like it is with everything else.
Last one for me, and we thank you for coming on the program. I'll let you run here in a moment. Jermaine Woods, new women's basketball coach at Norfolk State, our guest here on 757 Saturday Sports Talk on CoVA Sports TV. Like, share, and subscribe. You got to start in the 757 at Granby High, playing for the one and only Lonnie Blow, and then on at Christopher Newport University. Coach, the roster construction now, it's so tricky because you want to have those upperclassmen players, those ones that experience and are seasoned. But I know for you, your roots in the 757 and recruiting local talent also matters. Give me your sense, because I can't imagine you're not one that's going to have a roster without players that have some homegrown elements, and you know how good the 757 is in terms of its high school talent and the players from our neck of the woods. But give me your thought on how do you build a roster, because you see a lot of times now, unless you're that top-level high school player, some fall through the cracks and are taking more of the veterans through JUCOs, the grad transfers. What's your view of roster construction, and has your thought at all changed in the last couple of years in doing it?
Yeah, I wanna have a mixture, right? Like so, even at Coppin State, I had 2 freshmen on every class. I definitely want to bring in transfers because in order to be competitive, you have to. I don't have a choice. Like I have to bring in transfers. But then I want to get in this area, man, in the local area especially, and get these young women who aren't getting opportunities that can play, they can compete, but then they have a chance to grow. And I think they have to understand when you're coming in with transfers, it's gonna be a process. If they can stick through it year one, year two, they'll be okay. But I'm challenged this year with a roster reconstruction. Norfolk State has lost a lot. Like you said, Larry did a great job. One of the probably the best mid-major team or one of them in the history of college, well, women's college basketball. And so I'm challenged right now to bring in 7 or 8. But I have to continue this winning way. So I'm going to build my roster with transfers right now. But then once I get my feet in the door this first year, I'll start get back in the high school because the 25 class it's kind of over right now. So, we'll start with that 26 class, bringing in 2 per year. So I'm going to build my roster, with freshmen. And then when the transfers leave, I'll have those freshmen. Hopefully they stay. And by the time they're sophomores, they can help us win games, even when you're losing people. And I think that's how you stay above ground.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing how it all unfolds for you at NSU. I'm sure you'll see our faces at a few of the games and supporting you on this journey now back at NSU. Jermaine Woods, thank you so much. Despite being a Yankee fan, we still love you and like you, and I'll rock with you. We'll talk with you down the road, my friend.
And happy to be home, man. Thank you guys for having me. So excited for this opportunity and behold the green and gold.
There you go. Jermaine
All
Woods,
right.
the new women's basketball coach at Norfolk State. Thank you so much, buddy, and we'll talk again
Thank you,
soon.
guys. Thank you
Thanks,
always.
Jermaine.
Thank you.
Thank you
All right.
now.
Jermaine Woods, our guest here on 757 Saturday Sports Talk on CoVA Sports TV. You just love the